If you're stuck with a large debt on a credit card that you can't pay off because the interest is too high, then a balance transfer might be a great way to significantly lower your monthly payments and get you out of that debt. Hey everyone, this is Cody with Rent Reporters, and today we'll go over how balance transfers work, how you do one, and some great balance transfer credit cards to check out, on top of some things you need to watch out for before you go do one. So first off, what is a balance transfer? A balance transfer is simply transferring debt from one credit card to another. Now, why would you want to do this? Because credit card companies often have balance transfer promotions that can save you a ton of money on interest. Let's say you have a $5,000 balance at a 20% interest rate. If you pay off the entire balance before the statement due date, you don't pay any interest. But let's say you can't pay it off and you instead need to take 24 months to pay it off because you can only pay a little bit at a time. You'll end up paying a little over $1,100 in interest alone at a cost of $250 per month. Now, going back to those promotions I was talking about, typically the way these work is you transfer your balance racking up interest on one credit card over to another card with a promotion, and they'll usually charge you 0% interest for a period of time, typically ranging from 6 to 24 months or even longer. So in other words, the balance that you're having a hard time paying off because you're paying so much in interest will no longer have any interest charged on it for months or even years. Now, usually this will dramatically lower your monthly payments and save you a ton of money, making it easier to get out of debt. Now, before we go any further, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for lots more content just like this. Now, if you're in a bind with a credit card because you're paying too much interest and you have decent credit, this is a much better alternative than something like a payday loan. And balance transfer cards also have nice perks for more advanced credit card users as well. For example, you could charge a large balance on a rewards card to take advantage of perks like cashback or free miles, then transfer that balance to a 0% balance transfer card and pay the debt off over a long period of time with no interest. You're essentially borrowing money for free and getting rewarded with cashback and points. So now that we know what a balance transfer is, let's look at an example. Let's say you have a $5,000 balance on a credit card with a 20% interest rate, which is actually fairly low compared to some of the cards out there. Now, at that rate, carrying that balance and paying $250 a month would take you 24 months to pay it off completely and cost you over $1,100 in interest. But let's say you qualify for a 12-month 0% balance transfer on a new credit card. So you transfer the $5,000 balance and now have a year to pay it off with no interest. Now, this would cost you $417 per month to do if you have the extra room in your budget. However, if you can't afford to make that extra $167 payment, then you can continue paying $250 and pay down $3,000 of debt, interest-free over 12 months. Then you can do another balance transfer towards the end of the promotional period and carry over the $2,000 balance to a new card. At that point, you have the option to pay the same $250 per month that you had been and be debt-free in just 8 more months. Or if you have some other expenses and you need some extra breathing room in your budget, you can actually pay $167 per month and be debt-free in just 12 months. Either way, you're debt-free in the same amount of time that it would take you if you had it balance transferred, except now you save yourself over $1,100 in interest. Alright, so let's go over how to do a balance transfer. The first step is to look for a card that matches your credit score. Balance transferring typically requires a strong credit score, and if you need a boost on your score, I gotta do one plug per video, and Rent Reporters can add your rent payments to your credit history so you get the credit score you deserve for paying rent. Our average customers see a 40-point boost on their score in just 10 days. Alright, plug is done. So here are a few balance transfer credit card options for you. At the top of the list is the US Bank Visa Platinum card that offers 0% interest for 20 months, which is fantastic. In second place, with 0% interest for 18 months, are both the Citi Double Cash card and the Wells Fargo Platinum card. And lastly, I have the Aspire Platinum MasterCard, which has a 0% interest rate for 6 months. Now, if you're a student, you have an additional option. The Bank Americard for Students card is 2021's best student credit card for financing, offering an introductory 0% interest on both new purchases and balance transfers for the first 18 months that your account is open. So if you need to buy books, you can do so interest-free for 18 months, or you can move high-interest debt to a no-interest debt card for 18 months. It has no annual fee, and you don't need credit history to qualify. To read more about these cards, check out the link in the description below. When applying for the card you choose to go with, it's a standard online application process. Make sure your credit is in the best shape possible before applying, and if your credit is frozen, be sure to temporarily unfreeze it. After confirming all of that, you're ready to transfer your balance. Now, once you're approved for the card, the process to transfer your balance can vary depending on the company, but you'll probably have the option to do your transfer online, over the phone, or request a check. The processes are all generally kind of work the same. You'll provide the information of the credit card you're transferring from. Your new credit card company will work things out with the old one, and then they'll apply the balance to your new card. After that, you just pay it off like you would any other card. One thing that is really important though is once the transfer is complete, do not close your old card. If you do, this can hurt your credit score, and we obviously want to avoid that. A large part of your credit score is the average age of your account. So if you close an old card and you only have the new one open, your average age is now much lower. Second, your utilization rate makes up another large portion of your credit score. When you get a new card, your total available credit increases, and this is a good thing. Your utilization rate is now lower. A $1,000 balance on a $2,000 credit limit is 50% utilization, which is high. That same $1,000 balance on a $4,000 limit after you open a new card is only 25% utilization, which is much better. Now, if you close the old card, your utilization rate is the same as it was before, and your average credit age is lower, so your score will drop. And lastly, if you are paying your old card on time, the payment history for that card will no longer count on your score since it's now an inactive trade line. So keep that card open, freeze it in a gallon bag, cut it up, but whatever you do, just don't close it. Now that you know what balance transfers are and how to do one, there are still a couple important things to keep in mind. Some promotions have free balance transferring, while others may cost up to an average of 3%. Usually the money you save on interest going to a 0% card more than makes up for the cost of transferring if there is one, but be sure to do the math and make sure it makes sense if there is a fee involved. If you can't qualify for a 0% balance transfer, you may still be able to transfer from one card to another that has a lower interest rate. Again, just be sure to run the numbers and make sure it makes sense. If you have not paid off the transfer balance before the end of the promotional period, then you may be charged the full retroactive amount of interest on the entire balance, not just the remaining one. So it's very important to make sure that you get it paid off or get the balance transferred over to another card before the end of the promotional period. And finally, late payments can cancel out the interest-free promotions, so make sure to always pay on time. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and until next time, this is Cody with Rent Reporters, and I will see you in our next video.